Audio test. Audio test. Okay. Now I'm going to post on. All right, we should be live in about 2 minutes. All right, can you guys all see me? Let's see. There's about a 4 to 5 second delay on this, so it might take me just a second um, to see everybody's questions or responses or anything like that. Yay, and it sounds good? Loud and clear. Oh, thank goodness. I feel like this whole like figuring out this live stream has been such a adventure. It's definitely like foreign territory to me. So I'm excited that we finally like sorted it out. We have a new computer, a brand new like mic system. Just I kind of wanted it to be as fun as we could possibly figure out a way to make it. And I think there's some going to be some really fun stuff in this one. So let's see. I'm looking at comments already. Okay, good. Everyone can hear me. It's going well. Well, happy October. I'm so excited you guys are here. Um, Obviously, this is my very, very favorite month of the year. And I think this is, well, I can only speak for myself, but this is kind of the best October of my life, I think, so far, just because Patreon has gone so incredibly well. I'm having so much fun with it. There's so many different things to do and make, and there's no like I can do a broom or I can do something else weird. But yeah, it's going super fun and I'm super jazzed. So, let me see. So, let me talk about the broom a little first. You cannot really see it at all here, but this is it. You There are three really, really special things about it. Um, and none of them you can see just from looking at it right here. There is something really spectacular on the top, something really fun here, and then one other thing that I will be sort of revealing what that is pretty soon. Um, but I'm so excited about it, and I was so nervous about being able to create something sort of original because obviously, like witches' brooms are people know about it, and people have made them forever. So I like researched as much as I possibly could, learned all about how to make a broom utterly from scratch, like where does broom corn come from? Like, so I did as much homework. I had to go to a bunch of places to get all of the supplies. Um, but I made the wood is from it's African zebra wood, which is so insanely hard to work with. I didn't know about it until I tackled this project, and it is it's brutal as far as it tore up so many of my little Dremel tips, like to fine tuning it. Just because it's so far and away the hardest wood I've ever worked with. Like, and I mean, it's difficult to work with, and it's like hard as stone almost. I bet carving stone might be simpler. But anyway, so I made it. It's amazing. Hopefully, I'm hoping that video will be up in just a couple days. Definitely either on Halloween or before, but we'll see. I'm still got to edit it all together. But I'm so excited for you guys to see the process of that and like how doable it is. Just don't pick this wood. It's really tricky to work with. Okay. So I'm going to start reading some things and then I think we'll wait a second. I want to be about 10 minutes into this before I announce who won that name thing. Let's see. Okay. Oh no. This has been my worst Halloween yet, remodeling my house. Okay, that would be a little bit of a bummer. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Hello, Jessica in Colorado. Hi. Okay. Does the doll have a name? This one? I don't know yet. I'm not going to answer that right away. Let's see. Hair tips. Can you please give some hair tips? I think I will do that. It's if, like I've stated once before that like it's annoying, or it's just like it's one of those I don't like being on camera looking terrible, and my hair is just a big wavy. I have like I call it like white trash wavy hair. It's not like pretty waves. It's just like big and everywhere. So I have to do all this stuff to sort of smooth it out. But I will do like a hair tutorial at some point. Can we name the doll? Totally. Let's see. What are your favorite Halloween traditions? Okay, let me think about that. Carving pumpkins is really, I want to say that's my favorite. And like watching Halloween movies. I think it's such a fun thing to do. I've actually already carved all my pumpkins and then they started sort of like rotting and going away. And oh, something really, really cool to sort of tell people. I am going to Salem for Halloween this year. So I leave for Salem tomorrow night, and I will be there for a few days through Halloween. And then I'm going to even drive down to like Sleepy Hollow. And I'm going with my mom. Like we're making like a girls' trip of it. And I'm so excited. I wish there was like a way to set up like a meet and greet or something. But if you are wandering the streets of Salem on Halloween night, I will be too. So if you see me, come say hi. Let's see. What is your go-to Halloween movie? Trick or Treat. It is my number one favorite. I watch it. I watch it like in May. That's how much I like it. Let's see. Ooh, I like the name Bridget for the doll also. That's one of my favorite names. I've got like a handful of names that I wish my name was, and that's one I would take. Let's see. Okay, how far in are we? Vlog some of your Salem adventures. I should do that. I'm not familiar how to do that, so maybe I'll have to um, explore that. Will you be wearing a costume for Halloween? Of course. Of course. What a terrible question. I'm kidding. I'm going to be dressed up as like a kind of like a pastel witch. So it should be kind of fun. Let's see. Let's see. What was your favorite costume when you were young? My mom dressed me up as a pumpkin when I was 6, and it was like this big poofy thing with like these green tights, and for some reason that's my favorite. Let's see. Oh, if you have Salem is on your bucket list, you should go. I think it's really fun. I mean, everyone's got like a different opinion about it, but for me, it's kind of like the mothership of Halloween. And so I've never been there on Halloween night. And actually, through here, I think I was able to find um, a really nice girl named Jennifer, who I'm going to be staying at her bed and breakfast with my mom. So I think that happened through here. So I'm super excited. But yeah, it's really fun, and I will let you know how fun it is afterward. Um, or I mean, how it was for Halloween. Let's see. What is your favorite type of craft that you've never tried that you really want to learn? I feel like I've got a bunch. I don't want to give it away exactly because I'm going to be tackling it next month, and that's still just a little bit of a surprise. But aside from what I'll be doing next month, I'm going to be doing, oh, I want to do stained glass. That's one that I just feel like I understand how it works, but I've never done it myself. And I just feel like it would be really fun. And I think after going to the Winchester house, I kind of like was really enamored with all of the amazing like leaded stained glass they have there. And so I want to get into that, I think. It seems fun. Okay. Am I a Harry Potter fan? Of course, totally. I love Harry Potter. I was actually, when I was working on this broom, I was like, I bet they had like the most insane brooms in Harry Potter. I should like research that and see if I could find one that's like um really, really amazing. And so I did that, and maybe I didn't look long enough, but I feel like the brooms could have been even cooler. And this, I guess I shouldn't like boast or something, but it's the coolest broom I've ever seen. And you'll see why when I post the finished video and the pictures, just because it's really, really neat and it's really amazing. And I would say I feel sad about giving it away, but at the same time, I just feel like I'm so excited to be able to give stuff away like that. So, and I feel like it's going to a very good home. So, let's see. How far in advance do you plan a project? It kind of depends. Like it totally sometimes I do them really fast. The house tour that I just did, that was kind of one of those like, what could I do that like, because I feel like I've got so many things going on and I'm trying to like make sure I'm delivering everything that I'm promising on here. And I'll be honest, I feel stressed about like making sure you guys are happy with what I'm delivering. So that was one of those. I thought, I was like, oh, that'll make it simpler for me because I had to do Halloween cards this month as well for the $20 and up tier. And so I I thought getting the house ready for filming was going to be super easy, and it was the opposite of that. Like, it was, I mean, everyone's house is like a wreck unless you're someone who's just really good at organizing, which I'm just totally and completely not. So, of the talents that I've been blessed with, organization is not one of them. Um, what are your plans for Christmas? I have amazing plans for Christmas for you guys. I don't want to talk about it, but it's going to be good. I That's kind of the thing that I'm so excited about this. I'm going to ramble off topic, but like, so I'm sort of known for Halloween, Christmas, but and so for the next few months and for the last couple months, I'm doing things that are really kind of like holiday geared for the most part. Um, but I am so excited for the things that are coming early next year. So, like I've mentioned, I'm selling my house. I'm going to buy a big old creepy, creaky house. So, I'm so excited for you guys to like go on that adventure with me. Um, I'm trying to think. There's so many like there's this lull that happens after Christmas that can be kind of like a bummer. And I'm going to make sure that it is not for you guys. Like, because when the holidays are over, it feels like sad. And I don't really care about New Year's, but I love Christmas. And as soon as Christmas is over, I just feel like I tend to get a little bummed. And this year, I just feel like I'm going to go full throttle on some like really fun projects. And which, by the way, I don't have the name in front of me, but somebody suggested the best idea ever, and it's totally something I'm doing. So, like we're doing this live stream, at some point I'm going to figure out when we can do it, but I want to do a live stream that's like maybe like possibly like 8 hours long, and I will give you all an instruction list or a list of things that you need to perform like a certain project, and then we will sit and do a project together. So like, and I'll have movies on and like I'll be chatting and like answering questions, but it just seems like a really fun interactive way for like us to do something together. You can see something happen from the beginning to the end, and if you want to be included in like getting the supplies, like we can make it together. So I thought that sounds fun. Okay, let's see. All right, I've chatted enough. I think we're 15 minutes into this. I'm gonna announce who won this. Let's talk about that just a touch before I spill the beans. I feel like the drawing was my favorite. I'm gonna be honest. That was my favorite just because everybody had like the chance to win. So that's my favorite. But this is the best second suggestion I've seen at all, as far as it gives everybody a chance. Nobody submits something that doesn't actually want it. So if you submit your name, it is something that you want. And I just feel like I hate hurting people's feelings or having people get upset. And like, this is the only solution I have seen so far that like seems happy and fun and playful. And so I'm going to be honest, when I posted that, I was like, I am going to go through and pick the simplest name. Like, I wasn't even going to pay attention for like what was really the best. I wanted to kind of stick with like a drawing and like just sort of let it be like a chance of whatever like my eyes dropped on last. And then I read all of them. And then there was one that just really stood out to me, and it made me laugh. And it was obviously someone that I have shared interests in. Um, but I'm just going to say it. So the winner of the broom is, let me look on my phone and make sure I say the name correctly, because I don't want to get that wrong, because I'm terrible about getting things wrong. Fraser Poorman, and he won with the submission of naming his broom Branch Devereaux. So Branch Devereaux instead of Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls. I started laughing so bad, and I like showed several other people just to like make sure that the reaction was like funny and good. Um okay, are you guys laughing? Is that funny? Okay. So it's a witch's broom, but I think it can be a warlock's broom too. So congratulations, Fraser. I hope you enjoy it. Um, Fraser's in Florida, and so this will be going to Florida. The bat cage that I did went to a lovely woman in Boston, Massachusetts. So I shipped that giant thing. She sent me like an unboxing video, so I'll like share that with you guys if you want to see it. Um, and she like unboxed the whole thing, and I filled it with so many packing peanuts, like they were just coming out of her ears, and I felt a little bad for that. But I've been ordering things on eBay for years, and whenever I ordered delicate like porcelain things, if people didn't use packing peanuts, so many times things came broken. So I was like, packing peanuts everywhere. And you can save them and recycle them for if you ever ship anything out, which is what I try to do. So, so let's see, where have I think, so the skull puff that I did went to New Hampshire, I think. I could be wrong about that, but that went to a really nice girl. And then the bat cage went all the way to Boston. This is going to go to Florida, and every month I'm going to do something really, really fun and cool and make sure somebody can get it. So, yay. Okay, I'm going to read some of these. So I hate to feel like I'm just sitting like staring at a computer while you guys are like watching. So I've been avoiding that, but now I'm going to have to do it. Okay, let's see. Oh, the skull puff was pretty. Thank you. It was, I want to say, like, let's see. So I've given away the skull puff, the bat cage, and this broom. And I would 1000% have kept all of them because I think they're so pretty and fun. But like, it makes me so excited to be able to, you guys, I've said it so many times and I'm just going to keep saying it because it actually keeps growing. And you guys are just, this Patreon thing, oh my God, 100% changed my life. I mean, I don't know. I'm rambling, but it's amazing. And thank you guys. I will do everything I can to like make sure you guys are happy on your end as well. How did you get your first book deal and how did that feel? Ooh, let's talk about that. Um, I think it's going to be a little gossipy if you don't mind. So I went viral on the internet in like 2014, I think, and a bunch of reality show people had reached out, and then a publisher reached out, and I decided I was like, oh, a book that sounds so exciting and so amazing, um, and so that was what I jumped on, and it took me like a year to pull off, and my mom's if she's watching this, she's gonna get mad at me, but I don't like the book anymore. Like, I feel like I look through it and I'm like, no, that's not good enough, or no, I didn't spend enough time on that. Um, so it was kind of, such an exciting thing to have done and I have literally only one copy. I've given all of them away, and they're out of print. So like, I think they're all taken, and so I don't know. But anyway, how does it feel? It felt really exciting the minute it came in the mail, and then now I just like I don't even look at it just because I'm like I have this thing where like I never watch that Netflix show. I feel like uncomfortable when I look through stuff like that for some reason. I feel like just uncomfortable. I don't know. Oh, I have something else to tell you. Somebody on YouTube pointed out that the bat cage that went to Boston was actually the identical style of bat cage that was featured in Batman Returns with Catwoman, like, and she's like she gets the bird out of it and the penguin is there. And it's this incredible scene. I've seen that movie 80 million times. I don't know how I didn't put that together, but someone else did, and brought it to my attention. And they brought it to my attention after I had already like announced that it was getting given away. But I'm going to be honest with you. If I had found out that information before I gave it away, I might have been like trying to give away my couch or something. Like, I don't know. It made it a little like, oh, I guess this is going away now. And like, I started desperately scouring on the internet to see if I could like find another one. And of course, you can't. So it's the way it goes. Let's see. Can you do a gift crate tutorial? I love that idea. Totally. So yes, I'm gonna do that. Though I've actually done one before, and I did it for the Netflix show, and it wasn't the making of it wasn't featured, and it was supposed to be. So I would love to do that. It was really fun, and then it got shuffled away after the show wrapped, and I never saw it again. So who knows where it went? When you work on a project, do you get everything right the first time, or is it a bit of trial and error, like the TV cabinet, for instance? So I would say it's maybe, I couldn't even put a percentage on it. Sometimes I like shock myself and everything goes perfectly smoothly. And I tend to find that the more prepared I am, the more research, I would say the more research that I do on something, um, the smoother it goes. But I've had so many projects like totally not work out the first few times. I did like the Cinderella's like pumpkin thing once, and it had this like 3D crust dome, and it kept collapsing on me. And I was being so good with it. Like I was so delicate with it, and obviously pie pastry is ridiculously delicate, and it just kept breaking. And finally I just like actually burst into tears and like went upstairs and like took a nap and came down and redid it, and it worked the final last time. But like I've had plenty of things that just totally don't work out, and I cry, and sometimes I like throw cake. So I don't know. It seems like lately I've been having fewer of those, but as soon as I say that, the next thing is going to like blow up in my face. Let's see. Um, who is your favorite classic movie monster? That is so tough. I mean, God, I want to say the creature from the Black Lagoon. I just love that costume. I love it's still such a scary movie when you watch it. Like, and I think considering how old it is, like, I think it's insanely impressive that it's still so like you have this like visceral reaction when you see it. So I would say Creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite. Will you continue with your photography? I'm assuming that now that I'm doing video is what you mean. Um, yeah, for me, I would say um, photography is kind of like a means to an end for me, if that makes sense. Like what I love more than anything is doing stuff. And then documenting it is just kind of, it's something I do because that's the only way you can let people know that you're doing it. Um, but I'm trying to think, I love editing. I love doing editing. So yes, I will still keep doing photography, but I'm trying to think. I wouldn't even consider myself all that amazing of a photographer. I could think of myself as I'm really good at set decorating and lighting. Um, and I feel like I'm really, really capable with video editing or like photography editing. So, but actual, like, I feel like there are better people behind the lens. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. So we're going to talk about something a little kind of. Do you guys want to do like a project together really quick right now? Because I have one set up and it's super simple. So, Halloween cards. Let me talk about that and then I'll go into this project. So, Halloween cards, the majority of them have been mailed out. And if you haven't got yours yet, it just means you probably either it's on its way to you, Or if you signed up just a little bit later, you might have missed like the cutoff when the printer was shipping them out. So I'm shipping them out myself. So if you are signed up and you are at like the $20 and up range, you will be getting one. It just might take like a hair longer, and I hope you'll be patient. But anyway, in every single card, I put this. It is something I drew myself. And hold on one second. Let's see. Hold on. It says, please stand by. Can you guys still see me? I just want to make sure I'm still here. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure we're still going. It's still good. Okay, I'm holding up how many fingers right now? This is the only way I can think of to like make sure. Okay. All right. Okay, good. So anyway, I drew this entire thing, and I know you can't see it, but I will be posting it on Patreon for all of you. You can all print this out. But if you did get a Halloween card, which by the way, if you are getting a Halloween card, I hand drew everything on it. So it's like a completely original like sketch by me, inside, outside, that whole thing. And so I did the same thing with this little thing, and it is Miss McConnell's partner poison. And I burned all the edges, so everybody gets like a little thing with burned edges. And the intent is for you to buy or find a bottle about this size. It's like a pretty like standard like old-timey bottle. They have them everywhere, like every thrift store, every antique shop, it's going to be there. And this is intended to be stuck on there. And I won't read off all the little cute things that I wrote on it, but it's really funny. And so let me show you how you can so quickly apply this to an antique bottle like this. Okay, so Mod Podge, sort of like my go-to glue for like little silly projects like this. Of course, it's going to be like hard to open now. So you just take a little tiny bit of Mod Podge. I'm putting it in a little tiny bowl. It's a little tiny bit off camera. Hold on one sec. Okay. So this is about the simplest little silly project on the planet, but I just kind of feel like if we do little silly projects together during this, it's going to be even more fun. So you just take a brush, brush it all over the back side, obviously like the little white side of it. It's going to be funny if I like mess this up because I'm like showing you how to, it's like a kindergarten project, but okay, I'm going to set it right here. And you just basically take it. Okay. So let's see. So there we go. Miss McConnell's partner poison. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let you see what that looks like. Okay. So anyway, it's a silly project, but I'll be posting something you can very easily just print out at home, or take it into the office and have it printed, or wherever it is that you have access to a printer, and so you can make your own at home. Is that right? I think so. Anyway, it was just kind of a fun thing, and I drew like my little baby Mr. Biggles on there. And it's about like a woman or a man killing their spouse, and I just think that's so romantic. So anyhow, and like I said, everybody can get that, so I hope you guys like that. I'm going to read some questions if you guys want to throw some questions at me. Let's see. Did I do the burned edges? I totally did. I did it on my stove. So I literally was like burning off. Like I try to have a gas mask on just because I'm probably one of these projects is going to kill me at some point, but I did burn them all myself. What is your favorite craft store? So this is like a concern. I didn't know there was some sort of controversy with Hobby Lobby, and so I've been going there forever. But now I have to research it to like understand what's going on because I don't know anything about it. But that's where I've been going. And then I said something in my last video, and people are like, Hobby Lobby's the devil. And so I haven't researched it, but I'm like, oh no, they're so cheap and they have everything that I like. So I'm gonna have to no Hobby Lobby. Okay, I guess it's back to Michael's then. The worst is okay. How about instead of the worst craft store, I can say Joann's. I go there. I have to go there once in a while, but it's so depressing. It's like Staples to me for some reason. My mom loves going to Staples, and I'm like, Staples is like the equivalent of going to the DMV for me. So I'm not a fan. Oh, someone said you love Joann's. I'm sorry. How did you learn to draw so well? Um, I think it's a stretch to say that I draw so well. I I erase a lot. So like I'll draw something. I sometimes I see artists and they're like five little flicks and suddenly something looks like something incredible and like I'm not that kind of artist. I'm very slow. And so like I draw stuff and I'm like, does that look wrong? Yeah, it looks wrong and I erase it. So like just doing this simple little label took me 2 solid days. So I don't know. I'm like I'm really good at erasing stuff and starting over. Let's see. When did you start getting serious about what you do? I would say like 2014. Everything was just kind of, I was just playing with it and I didn't think there was like a career in it at all. And so I'm trying to think like 2014 and then stuff started going viral and I started getting offers, but everything leading up to that, like this was just something I was doing and putting out there without the intent to like, this was no like, I don't know how to phrase it. Like this was not even a career I knew was a possibility. And I don't even think in 2014 this career was a possibility. So maybe it just like had to like take this long, but right now I just feel like I'm sitting on a cloud and everything is wonderful. Let's see. Will you do a Christmas party dress tutorial? So I'm trying to think. I won't, but I will be doing a dress tutorial. But before I do the dress tutorial, I am going to show you guys how to make a dress form from scratch and you'll make it for yourself. And I think that's a really good first video to do just so everyone can have one of those in their house. And it's something I think everyone should have if you really want to start like making your own clothes. Um, just because it's such a nice thing to work off of, something that's exactly your shape. And so I might do it like the Patreon exclusive episode of that month is how to make your own dress form. And then the public video will be like making a dress on that form. So I hope that's a good idea. Is it the duct tape method? No. It will be something that will hold up and last and be amazing. I promise. I'm like actually really excited for that one. Okay. So someone has asked, will you make something for I can't pronounce that. I'm assuming that's Krampus. I haven't thought about that, but I love Krampus, so probably. I'm going to research that though. If I can't pronounce it, I should probably do more research. Let's see. You should try wood turning. I totally want to. So this house, there's no garage. You're going to see when I make this room in this episode, I did it downstairs in the guest room. So I'm selling this house and I'm getting a house with like a barn, probably a barn, I'm hoping. And I want to get like what do you call it? Is it a lathe or something like that to turn wood? But I totally want to get into that. Where did you learn your woodworking skills? Gosh, that's a good question. I mean, I've been sculpting cakes for so long that, and then I started sculpting gingerbread using a Dremel. And for me, the transition from sculpting something out of gingerbread with a Dremel to sculpting wood with a Dremel was kind of it's like the same medium. It's just one's much harder, like physically, like it's a more difficult material to cut through. But like the methods seem pretty much the same to me. So I don't want to say I taught myself, but like I think I just sort of figured out stuff along the way, and then it sort of came naturally as like a transitioner. I'm having a stroke, like a transitionary skill. I don't know. I'm struggling with English tonight. When you move, do you want to okay. When you move, do you want to stay in California? No, not at all. Like I've always wanted to live on the East Coast, or like I don't know, Ohio, North Carolina, something like that, Massachusetts, somewhere in there. I just feel like the architecture is so beautiful. There's all these cool old homes. Everything's affordable. So that's the number one reason why I'm leaving California, is just like it's so pricey. I could never afford the kind of like dream house that I want here, but back east you can totally afford that. So that's what I'm doing. Come to Tennessee. I might if I find the right house. I'm not opposed to Tennessee. You got like the Smoky Mountains right there. I know the perfect Victorian house that needs a lot of help. Direct message me. I want to see what it looks like. Any luck on the creepy Victorian house hunt? I haven't started yet. I I don't know how much I can sell this house for, so that's kind of going to be like a factor in like what kind of a house I can get. So I'm anticipating putting this on the market in spring. Um and then as soon as it's up, like I'm assuming I'd like to sell this first and go like rent something for a second back east while I like hunt, just because it seems a little complicated to like sell a house but have your dream house already picked out, because then you could potentially like not end up getting it. So we'll see how that works out. I will keep you guys totally in the loop, and we'll basically be doing it together. What is your okay, I'm so glad somebody asked this. What is your favorite Stephen King book? Do you like to read? I've been so hooked on Audible books lately. I grew up reading books with my eyeballs. And then for some reason, when I started doing like projects, they were so time consuming, I kind of like stopped actually physically like reading the books. And my mom was like, get Audible, it's amazing. And she told me about this, I don't know, 5 years ago, like a while. And she likes to like henpeck me a little bit. So finally I got it and I started using it, and it's so incredible. I'm so dumb for not having done it sooner. But I just started reading Pet Cemetery while I was working on this, and I'm not finished with it yet, but it is so far and away the best Stephen King book I've read so far. And I've read The Shining and Misery and Christine and a few others. But for me, Pet Cemetery is like, oh my God, I didn't know it was so good. So I haven't finished it yet. They usually, I think they don't end well, or at least he doesn't finish them very, very pleasantly. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh yeah, Audible's the best. I'm trying to think. What are some of The Good Nurse is one of the creepiest. If you never want to trust a hospital employee again, read The Good Nurse. It'll chills. It's so creepy. Will you read Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining? Whatchamacallit? I didn't really enjoy the book The Shining. This is okay. I should say this. When you do the Audible thing, sometimes the person reading the book doesn't do a good job. Um, and I think certain stories are messed up that way. And that's how I read The Shining, was I did the audiobook, and I didn't really love it. So I'm wondering if that messed with it. So maybe I need to sit down and read it. I don't know. Listen to Bram Stoker's Dracula on Audible. I've never read that book, so consider it done. What was your job before all of this? Okay. Let's see. I've mentioned before that I didn't finish high school and I have no college under my belt. Um, so I'm like moved to a beach town when I was like 20 and started doing secretarial work. Um, and badly, like it turns out I'm not really good at like organizing things in alphabetical order. I think I've made jokes about how bad I am at organizing stuff. And so yeah, that was my and I did that for like a while and then I got to the point where I was like doing like office management and I was doing that job equally poorly. Um and then I actually like moved back in with parents to go to school for like hair and makeup and so I did that and like it's just been this really long drawn out crazy thing. Um and now I just feel like I've won the lottery. So everything's going so fun. It's like I'm not stressed about finances and I get to do all of these really really fun projects and I get to do stuff like this. I was just telling my mom, I think these live streams are they're stressful leading up to it because I'm like, is it going to work? Is the audio going to be bad? Is this going to go terrible? Um, but whatchamacallit, I just kind of think it's like a fun way to engage with people that are like excited with you for the same sorts of things. So I'm having so much fun. I'm also like running off on tangents like crazy. Let's see. Were the dresses on the Curious Creations dresses you made yourself? It was like 50-50. Like half of them we pulled from my own closet and half we got from like a bunch of different costume places. Play Clothes Vintage in Burbank is amazing for like vintage clothes. Like, so when I started doing this series, I realized I needed more vintage clothes than I had. And I didn't have time to like make everything because that's like its own project. So I started going there and like I have to alter everything, but I don't know. Except, okay, somebody said, and you did win the lottery, except hard work and quirky aesthetics are more of a surety. Whatchamacallit, I will say this is very hard and time consuming. Like as far as like I'm going on this little trip with my mom, but like I haven't had a day off, I don't think in like maybe a couple months just because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the best of all of my stuff and um I've been lagging on like the written tutorials and things and I hope you guys will be patient with me. But I definitely bit off a lot, which is just something I always do and my mom's always done and my grandma always did. So I will try to keep up with everything and I hope you guys can be patient with me as I punch everything out. I think it's just mostly crazy because I just started doing it. So I'm getting into the swing of like editing this many videos and doing all of that. And then there's these perks that I'm offering and I want to make sure that those perks are amazing. So I've got a plan for some presents that I'm doing for the top tiers, and they're going to be amazing. And I'm going to figure out a way. I don't know. I don't want to give too much stuff away, but I've got cool things in the works. Can you show the broom again? Okay, so I'm posting this video really soon. I just don't think it's so like big. I'm just gonna break something if I try to pull it away from the fireplace. But you'll see it very, very soon. And it is so, so neat. I'm so excited for you guys to see it like close up. Do you have a favorite mythological creature? Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot is my, like, I don't know, Sasquatch. I love Harry and the Hendersons. That's like one of my, anything with John Lithgow I'm pretty into. Let's see. Can you add more spots for the top tiers? They are sold out. So the top 2 tiers are sold out. I want to. I'm worried about like overwhelming myself with too like because I want the quality of what I put out to be as amazing as I possibly can. And um if I go too crazy, I'm just going to end up swamping myself, and I'm worried that I won't be able to deliver like the highest quality. Um so let me stick with it where it is right now, and then once I've figured this all out, I'll open up some more spots on those. But just for the time being, I just want to make sure everybody's getting the highest quality. So that's what I'm doing right now. Don't be mad. Um, let's see. If you could visit any creepy location in the world, where would it be? God, I would love to go to like Europe, Germany, Transylvania, maybe go somewhere really fun and spooky. I've never been. I've been to London one time for like 2 days, and that was my like international experience. So I would love to go like exploring Switzerland, and just kind of find weird little old creepy places. I love places that are like hundreds of years old. Let's see. Who is the woman in the photo behind you on the mantle? I'm assuming this one right there. Um, whatchamacallit? That is my Aunt Vereda. When I was little, my grandma took me on a trip across the country with her, and my Aunt Vereda lived in Kentucky. And this was actually like, you know how everybody's like memory starts at a different age? I think 7 years old was mine. Um, and my grandma took me and we went and stayed with my Aunt Vereda in Kentucky. And she lived in this really isolated farm and was like making pies from berries that she's just growing right outside of the door, and like all sorts of cool stuff. So it was just this really amazing experience that has stuck with me forever. And my grandma actually passed like a year after this trip. So it was really impactful to me. So that's my Aunt Vereda. Um, and she's gone now too, but I just like having a picture of her around the house. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Can you please carve a pumpkin? I want to see your incredible skills. Okay, I'm going to like fess up right now. I have seen so many mind-bogglingly amazing pumpkins on the internet of jack-lanterns, people doing insane stuff with them. Um, and I can't promise that I could come up with anything that would even like approach some of the best you've seen. So maybe I'll like practice quietly with it and get really good at it and then put something out. But at the moment, I don't really feel like my pumpkin carving skills are anything to get too like braggy about. Let's see. Do you ever buy antiques from Facebook Market or OfferUp? No, I've never ever used them. So I'm totally in the dark. So I haven't searched for things I've been looking for on there. I always just go to like Craigslist or eBay. So maybe I should be doing that too. Let's see. Do you ever have trouble finishing projects you start? I actually don't, and there's a reason for that. If my mom's watching me right now, she's going to be so mad. Um, so one thing my mom always does, and I love my mom, she's my very best friend. Please don't kill me. Um, she has this big old antique house, and there are, I'm not kidding, like 80 million different projects for her to be doing. And so what she's always done my whole life is she'll like work on something for a while, and then she'll get excited about working on something else, and then she'll get excited about working on something else. So she's always like bouncing around from like getting excited and working, like doing crazy amounts of work. Um, and I don't know, I got kind of like nutty about wanting to like put the finishing bows and fringes on things. And so for some reason, you know, people say like certain things about their parents they're like the opposite of. And that's just like one of my mom is straight up going to murder me for saying this. So I'm sorry. I'm paying for our trip to Salem. Please don't be mad at me. Okay. She's gonna kill me. Okay. Let's see. What is your dream project that you would like to tackle aside from the big creepy Victorian house? A dream project. I'm trying to think. Like, I would love to work with Tim Burton on something. Like, I mean, I'd love to just meet him. So, like, I don't know. That would be really cool. Um, I'm trying to think what other like dream project that's aside. So much of my excitement is sort of like I'm very much like somebody who focuses on one thing and that's all I can think about until it's done. And then I move on to the next like thing that I'm excited about. So I don't know. I really want to tackle making jewelry totally from scratch. And I mean um like smelting and like melting metals and like making original pieces and sets, like full sets. I'm not talking about like stringing beads. I'm talking about like antique, beautiful costume jewelry. So that's something I want to do. Let's see. Do you watch Antiques Roadshow? I don't have cable, so I'm assuming that's a cable show. Um, but occasionally I'll watch one like a little clip of it on YouTube and I'll see a snippet, but I love that. I think that's always fun. I don't get too caught up on if things are actually valuable, just because if I really love something, I would never sell it. Just so I don't know whether I've pulled so many things out of like dumpsters and like the trash that people have thrown out and like um Darcy Prevost, the set decorator for the Netflix show, had ordered TV lamps for the show and somebody shipped one and it came like shattered. And she was like, I'm going to throw this out unless you want it by chance. And I was like, I'll take it. And I spent the day like gluing all of the pieces back together. And now that's the lamp that sits on my nightstand. So I don't know. I don't really care if things are like super expensive. I just care if I like them. That was off topic. I'm getting really off topic about stuff. I hope you don't mind. Let's see. Da-da-da. Did you play with dolls as a child? I'm trying to think. Not terribly. I mean, I had some Barbies and stuff, but I think my brother did weird things to them and I mean weird like microwaving them. But I'm trying to think. What were the things? I liked drawing as a kid. So that was something I was super into. Um, what is your favorite fashion era? 30s, 40s, 50s? I want to say early 1960s is kind of, and I mean, I like so many of them. I kind of go all over the place, but I love that. I love like old Edwardian, like romantic. There was something called Victoriana in the 1970s where like it was the 70s version of Victorian clothing. And there's something called a gunny sack dress by Jessica McClintock and she makes a bunch of them. But whatever that style is, I absolutely love it. And like, there's all these like old Barbara Cartland books with like cover art on them from around that time. And the women are all wearing dresses like that. So I don't know. I might like that even more. So I've kind of like shifted along as I've gotten older and like, I'm super into that at the moment. Let's see. Have you ever made hats or shoes from scratch? I have made hats from scratch. Um, and shoes are something I will be tackling next year. And I'm literally going to make them from nothing. So I'm really excited for that. And like, I kind of have like giant feet. So I'm kind of excited to make something that like fits perfectly. I'm like 5'11. So I wear like a size 11, which is sort of unfortunate, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's see. What are your plans for Halloween Day? I don't really know. My mom and I are staying at like this weird little like cool spooky bed and breakfast that's like right at the Commons in which I don't know what that means. This is just what I've been told. Um And I think we're just gonna get like dressed up and like wander around all day. Let's see. Have you ever made a traditional wood wool stuffed teddy bear? I haven't, and I love that idea. There was like this bear in Adam's Family Values that Morticia gives the baby, and it's terrifying looking, and she pulls a thing. Um, whatchamacallit? Let's see. So I want to make one of those. I think that would be fun. Salem has some really cool yarn shops. Okay, maybe that's something I should check out. Let's see. Will you be getting any new animals when you move to your new house? Okay, let's talk about that. So, I'm alone on this, but I'm going to do it. I don't care. The coolest thing about getting like a big old creepy house is I really want to like go to the pound and like get like the rattiest, most like kind of neglected, forgotten ones, and like maybe get like a handful of them and bring them home. And like my mom used to do that when I was a kid. We at one point had 18 to 20 cats. But she had like such a big house. It was like they're like the bad ones were outside and the good ones were inside. Um, so I kind of, I don't know. I feel like I purchased a cat like a month ago or 2 months ago, and I felt so like I got a little guff on the internet about it, and but like I don't know. I have my reasons for doing it, and I think they're legitimate. But it did make me kind of start thinking like, oh, I bet there's some old kitty at like a pound somewhere that just like nobody wants, and so I just feel like I want to go like fix my karma and get a few of them. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I think we're gonna be wrapping this up pretty quick. I don't want to like kill all of my mystique, which I think I kind of am a little bit, but I don't mind. Let's see. So if there's one last question, I will answer one more question. How does your partner feel about your cat lady tendencies? So my husband is very tolerant of it, I think. Um, he he's very generous and nice, and he lets me get away with quite a bit. But I'm trying to think. It's kind of I married someone very similar to my father, and I used to always bring home scraggly animals when I was a kid, and like I would beg and plead and cry until he'd let me keep them. Um, and I'm 38 now, and I'm doing the same thing still. So I don't know. That's how he feels about it. Okay, I think I'm gonna tie this up. This has been so much fun. I am going to be posting the file that you can print on these labels. I hope you like them. And like I said, if you haven't gotten your Halloween card yet and you're in that tier, it's coming to you. And this has been a blast. So I love doing this. I can't wait for you guys to see the finished broom video. Have a very happy Halloween. And like I said, if you ever see me in person, run up to me and let's hang out for a bit. Okay.